Okay, quick video for the DJI Phantom pilot newbie, like I am. I bought this Phantom just a couple weeks ago, and I just recently bought this case because it starts to get a lot of stuff to put in and you want to protect it. I found this one for $79 on eBay. Just cut out the foam. The chargers normally goes in here. I have that in another location right now because I'm charging one of my batteries. I actually purchased 2 of these batteries online. They're pretty reasonable, and they actually do a little better than the original. I think the original in stock configuration flew for about 10 minutes. But then I've added some things that I'll discuss. I added this gimbal here, gimbal for the GoPro Hero 3. And the gimbal needed this stuff called Moon Gel, which is purchased from a music store. It's for drum skins. And that gimbal had to go and hook up inside the Phantom. There's some screws, there's some screws that just, not these are for the motor, but these screws here, just take an Allen wrench, and you can open this thing up pretty easily and put these wires through this hole in the leg, which I didn't get at first. There was like a rubber plug in there. And then the gimbal hooks into a couple positions. There's just plugs. It plugs into the NASA computer in there, and this gimbal works. Not really what I thought. It keeps the camera flat, but it's not really smooth at this point like some of the movie stuff that we've seen. It helps. It's great for keeping photographs level. So if you're taking pictures with the GoPro or taking frame grabs, they won't be as crooked as they were before. So it is a help for that, but it's not a real great movie smooth thing like we see some of these guys producing. Then I purchased the Fat Shark setup for $279 that came with this transmitter, which is very cool, and these little plugs that I haven't really put in a permanent location yet. But the nice part is there was no soldering here with this deal. When you hook the battery in, the balance wire from the battery goes through this slot that I made and plugs into here and powers the transmitter for the Fat Sharks. The Fat Shark is the goggle setup that's right here. So it came with this case. It came with that little transmitter. It gets received via these goggles and this little antenna. This setup, I think it was $279, also came with this battery. This battery came with this little balance plug. So this actually charges on the standard Phantom battery charger with this little 2-cell hookup, and that plugs in where the battery would go for, I guess they call a balance lead. So there we go. We got a couple things. We've got a stock DJI Phantom. We've got the gimbal on there, which keeps the camera level. It hooks up inside about right here on the Phantom with some plugs, no soldering again. Then we got this Fat Shark FPV setup. This is the setup that lets you see what the GoPro is looking at, which is really cool. And of course this case here that all the stuff fits in. And about 2 weeks ago I didn't understand what any of this stuff was. I've been on the forums. I've been on some of the Facebook pages. The community is really cool. Everybody explains everything to you. So to be quite honest, I've never made one of these videos. And I was inclined to do so because everyone's helped me so much. So if you have any newbie questions for a newbie, please feel free to ask me. And I'll show you one final thing. This was only a couple dollars. This is pretty cool because I already made a mistake and had red lights and couldn't figure out why my Phantom had these weird red lights when I was lifting off. Well, that was because I had a dead battery. When you have multiple batteries, you get out of whack, and I thought I had a big problem, and I didn't. So this little simple battery tester is a good thing to have. So anyway, I hope that explains a couple of the basics. Ask me any questions if you want, and I'll watch this back now. I hope I didn't leave anything out. Thanks.